Ariane?
Are we on? Is this on?
Hey,
Hey, how
how's it
you doing?
going? I'm fired up. I
Are you
am
fired up,
fired up.
ready to go?
I am ready, girl. Listen,
All right, all
how
right.
are
Well,
you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's sat today, Sunday. I did the big Sunday clean. I was listening to my. I know, but you know me. But I was listening to my Anita Baker. I was listen. I Today was a very like in the house, taking care of house duties day. So I'm doing good.
So you had a concert in the house, is what you told me, right?
Listen, I was blasting that music. I was like, my neighbors are just gonna have to forgive me on a Sunday. Like that's
Listen, either that or come wash your clothes and clean up the house for you.
right.
Just saying.
Exactly.
Mm.
Well, welcome everyone. We are excited to have everyone joining us today. This is going to be a good one, a fun one. Today we are talking. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about. All right, let me stop before we demonetize this.
Girl, right? They're gonna be like, excuse me.
But today we have a special guest, a
Yes.
sex therapist, that we are going to have a great conversation centered around how to communicate your needs in the bedroom in a healthy way. Of course, we always keep things nice and healthy, and just want to give everyone communication techniques and ways to have healthy communication, which is our vibes, right?
Yes.
So that is, I'm not gonna hold this any further. I think we
Please,
just.
because we're gonna this show. Listen, I
I
don't
know. I was
know.
like, let me just. Okay, so I am going to introduce you all to Miss Ebony Lavelle Dancy, who is a marriage and family therapist specializing in relationship, intimacy, and sexual wellness. She helps individuals and couples navigate communication challenges, rebuild emotional connection, and create healthier, more satisfying relationships. Ebony is passionate about breaking the stigma around communications about sex and empowering people with practical, evidence based, which we love, evidence informed tools to strengthen intimacy and connection. And she is a New Yorker from Brooklyn. And let's welcome Ebony. Welcome,
Hey,
welcome,
Ebony.
welcome
Wait
to
a minute.
my.
As a matter of
Hi.
fact, I think we got some type of sound effects too. Hold on, girl, because we gonna
Is
do
that
you
me?
right today. We're gonna give her a proper round of applause.
I know, right? I was like, yes. I love
Thanks for
it.
having me. Yeah.
Thank you
Yes.
so much for joining us and coming to chat with us and come play with us. So, like I said at the top, the topic is how to communicate your needs in bed in a healthy way. And we're going to talk about all things sex and relationships. So before we begin, Ebony, tell us, how long have you been practicing? Been a therapist? Tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah. So it's been about 2 years I've been practicing, and I've always knew that I wanted to work among within sexuality and the human body. Like all of those things always have fascinated me. So yeah, that's how I kind of got into it. The pandemic, we didn't have much to do. I was a teacher beforehand. And I was like, what do I really want to do? We have all this time. And I was like, I just want to be a therapist. And this is what I've been doing since, goodness, for a really long time, giving advice and stuff. So it just fell into everything naturally.
Love it. Love it.
Mm.
Great. All right. Go ahead, Brie.
I find it very interesting too, especially around COVID, because
Mm-hmm.
people were realizing whether or not they really wanted to be with their partner during that time. And it was like either we have loud mm, intimacy
Yep.
or get out my house. I can't stand you.
Yeah, you really learn about yourself and like your needs during that time. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I
Let me
even had
ask
a
you this.
neighbor. I'm sorry. I even
No, no.
had a neighbor that was constantly like we heard them through the walls every single day. So to go to your point, yes.
Did your clientele pick up more during COVID?
I wasn't a therapist then.
Okay.
Yeah, but I could imagine if I was,
Girl, you'd be a millionaire.
for sure. Yeah.
All right. So my first question, Ebony, this is
Mhm.
something I've always, tell me if I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, just tell me, girl.
Okay.
So, in my opinion, women cannot be bad in bed. Am I wrong? I think men could be bad because I feel like they do more. So they have more that you could critique. But I don't think women can be bad in bed because
Yeah.
it's like, it's gold down there. You know what I mean? Like, how could you be bad? Like,
Got it. That's fair.
but we starting off spicy. Let's go.
We are already.
We are. Yeah. So yes and no, right? But not for the reasons that you think, right? So like being good in bed usually has to do with like a little bit of a natural talent, I feel, right? And it's more about when we think about sex, people are just like, wham, bam, let's do it. But it's more about the communication and the confidence and being curious and being present, being willing to learn, right? So I think if you have those natural talents, then it makes you really good in bed. Now, let's say if where the no part comes in, it's like, say, if someone can have lots of experience, but they can still be poor, like sexually, right? If they don't communicate, if they ignore their partner's needs, right? If they lack enthusiasm in bed, let's say if they don't even care about consent, they're just doing whatever, right? Or they can treat sex as one-sided. So it can be like a yes or no, just depending on where you're at.
So is it subjective then? Because I'm trying to think about like what makes somebody good in bed.
For me, and what I've noticed, and even with like my clientele, it's communication.
Okay.
Right? Communication is just completely key. Without communication, it's like we're just having sex, right? How do we know what we want? How do we know what we need? How do we know our desires? Mm-hmm. So if we're not necessarily having those conversations in a healthy way, mm-hmm. It's just sex. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So then let's get into it. Because when you say communication, do you mean like in bed, I'm telling you what I want? Or is it like mm-hmm. beforehand? Because I think beforehand feels a little awkward, you know? Do you know what I mean? I feel like you know what I mean.
Yeah. I feel like communication really it can start at any phase, right? It can be beginning, middle, end. But I usually like to tell like all of my clients or whoever I come across, friends, it doesn't matter. In order to have like good communication, you have to know what you want first. So what does that look like, right? What do I need? Do I need more cuddles? Do I need more foreplay? Do I need, the list goes on, right? Once you have an idea of what you need, is now how do we communicate that with our partner? That can be simply using I statements, right? Instead of saying, oh my God, this was bad. We can simply say, you know what? I feel like we needed to do a little bit more foreplay for a little bit longer, or I'm not ready to just jump into sex yet. Let's warm up. Let's do a little something, kissing, holding hands, So yeah, so communication could go through all stages.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you said that it's something that you want to communicate, but is it possible to communicate what it is that you like when it comes to intimacy prematurely, like too early in the getting to know phase?
Yeah, like in the dating phase, right? Like there is a thing of being too soon, right? Because in that point, you're in the beginning stages, you're trying to get to know this person, you're trying to understand their values, their beliefs, all of those like foundational stuff first, right? So if we're saying that on the first date, someone might already be like, or they already have in their minds that okay, this person may not want anything necessarily serious, and this is
Yep.
just going to be like a sexual relationship. So fuck it, it's okay.
Yep. Yep.
You know? Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I wanted to go back to Ty's question about women cannot be bad in bed.
Yeah.
Because I ironically had been seeing a lot of posts online about men referring to dead fish in the bedroom, which is a woman who literally just
Yeah.
lays there.
Yeah.
She doesn't bring any type of excitement. She doesn't
Mm-hmm.
perform, like she's enjoying it. She's just laying there, and the man is doing all of the work. So
Yeah.
that's why, Ty, when you said that, I was like, girl, they gonna come for you. I should have put your Instagram up there.
You would consider that vanilla sex. That's
Yes.
the term. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are the different types of intimacy? Because there's different types of intimacies.
There's a lot of different types.
There's a lot. Okay.
There's a lot. So I would name a few, right? So there's emotional intimacy, which is a lot of the times what I come across people not necessarily having. So emotional intimacy can be feeling safe expressing emotions or being vulnerable without like the fear of judgment, kind of going back into what you mentioned earlier, like would this be awkward, right? But if you have emotional intimacy, you're able to bring up these things without the fear of judgment, right? So it's like sharing your fears and your dreams and different insecurities if they come up, right? So an example of that can be, I can tell my partner when I'm struggling and I'll know they'll listen, right? There is intellectual intimacy.
That's our favorite.
Hey. Sapio.
So that's just like sharing ideas and opinions and having meaningful conversations and respectfully like disagreeing, right? Like you don't have to always be on the same page, but you guys are on that level. There's financial, there's social intimacy, there's spiritual intimacy, but most of all that people know it's physical intimacy, right? So not just sex. That can be holding hands and kissing and hugging and cuddling, a massage. And then I'm not saying like, I feel like I'm in school again, trying to remember all these different forms of intimacy, but there's a lot. Even sexual intimacy, right? Which is like sexual pleasure, desire, the communication, again, consent. That.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. So for those of us like Bria and myself who are sapiosexual.
Yes. Yes.
What? I'm always curious. I don't know if you know the science behind that. I'm like, why is that? Like why does that? I know it, like I like it because it just shows, I don't know. I don't even know why I like it.
It's like a mental stimulation. Like
is it that?
It's a mental.
Like my mental is that's it.
Yeah. You guys nailed it.
Is it like neurons or?
I don't know all of that, but I do know. But
I'm like, wait a minute now.
That's beyond my scope. But yes, but you probably nailed it. That is exactly why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like, ooh, tell me more.
I mean, I would love to hear though, like what exactly, why do you gravitate towards that?
Okay, so I would say for me, because it makes me feel like the person understands me and we're on the same level, or if anything, they're a little bit higher than me and they can teach me something. Right. And so for me, because I tend to analyze a lot, sometimes I might be over analyzing, but for the most part, I'm constantly just like deciphering things in my mind. And so when I meet someone who recognizes that naturally and feeds into it, it's like, oh, man, at my heart. Like, I want to divulge more information and have that exchange with him, especially when they're not even talking about the physical. It's like, that's the most exciting part about it. Like, we can literally just go deep and nothing about it says sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same. And I also think no, I also like, I don't know, I have this theory that smart men make money. So that's also a turn on. It's like, oh wow, all right, we're about to be rich. I love that.
I love
No,
that for you guys.
but honestly though, no, I think ditto to what Bree said. I think it's just like it kind of it goes deep, and I'm such a like a deep thinker. I'm always in my head,
Yeah.
and it's nice to have somebody like on that same wavelength, that vibe with you, and you feel like it's almost foreplay to me,
It is.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I almost see it as foreplay. So yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of foreplay,
Okay.
one thing I've noticed, or maybe I don't know if it's true, but women, in my opinion, tend to like need foreplay more than men. Am I wrong about that assessment?
No, you're not wrong at all.
Okay.
It's easy for a man to just whoop.
Right?
And women, it's just like warm me up. Like,
right.
Let's take our times, That's where like the emotional intimacy and the physical intimacy kind of comes into play, because it's easy to just have sex, but when you don't have these things, it's just so.
Is it safe to say, in connection with that, a lot of women need to have an emotional connection in order to get warmed up and ready for physical intimacy? Because I know for me, if I don't have chemistry with you or an emotional attachment, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work. It depends on the woman, right? It can just be a woman that is just like, hey, I'm just in this for sexual reasons and that's it. And it doesn't have to have any of those ties, the emotional, physical. But I mean, from what I've come across, like women do need that. Mm-hmm. Most women need that emotional piece and attraction and physical and all of those things to even feel like I'm sharing my body with you.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we're overlooking when it comes to men where I understand that they don't need that emotional connection like women do, or that chemistry? They can just, like a hot pocket, just jump in there. But is there something that we're missing that we're not really paying attention to when it comes to men and what they need?
I think when we think of a man, we think of them like this strong person that can handle all of these things emotionally and not attached to it. But that's actually far from the truth. Some men mask those feelings, right? So sometimes we overlook what they actually want or might need because they're not able to communicate that or don't necessarily know how to. So I think that's one of the things that we can kind of miss, right? Thinking that they have one lens, but they may not know how to express the other parts of themselves.
How do we help them?
It's building that communication up, right? And I would say, and I know some people just like, especially men and Black men, they're like, I ain't doing therapy, especially sex therapy, nothing wrong with me, right? But I feel like if you have that connection to where you're able to communicate to your partner and you're realizing there's things that are not necessarily working out or they're not putting themselves like into it, I do feel like that's the best way, either therapy or really just trying to have those uncomfortable conversations to kind of bring it out of them if they're willing to bring that out of them,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What causes performance anxiety?
Oh my goodness. The biggest thing is the mind. Being stuck in your mind, right? I've had a recent client, and I'm not putting anything HIPAA out there, right? But he has performance anxiety because certain positions work for him and certain position works and doesn't work for him. And instead of him communicating that to his partner, he doesn't know how. And then when he gets soft, it's like, oh my God, she's going to leave me. I'm terrible. I'm this, I'm that, right? And
Oh.
that is so common. Or sometimes we can't switch off our minds from daily things, right? Like you're in the
Mhm.
moment, you're like, okay, wait, I gotta cook at 6 p.m. I gotta put the kids to bed. I gotta, so there's all of these things that are like running through your mind. So I do feel like the mind is the biggest thing that causes anxiety, and not having that communication to say, this feels right, this doesn't feel right, all of
Right.
those things.
Yeah. That's probably why a lot of guys smoke before they get into it
They
because
got to get relaxed. They have to ease into it. Yeah.
yeah.
Is there what I mean, smoking is one way. What are some of like healthy like practices I guess people can do, like men specifically, like if they have, performance anxiety, or they need to like, I don't know, what are some of the
Yeah.
tricks or things that they can do?
Yeah, it's like a twofold thing, right? Because I can say therapy because I'm a therapist, right? But then on the other side of it, I would always say, if you're not getting erect or some things are just not happening, going to a doctor just to make sure that's nothing further than
Mhm.
just, not being erect. That's one thing. And just really trying to sit with yourself and trying to figure out what's the source, right? Like how I mentioned with the client. Is it something going on with me that I'm not necessarily liking? Is it something wrong with me physically, mentally? So I think really just checking in with yourself and kind of seeing why this is happening if you're not going the therapy route. Um, that's all I can really think of right now. But and also too, I do feel like there's a link between like anxiety and self-esteem and how men sometimes and women look at themselves, right?
Mhm.
So if you're not 100% secure in yourself, then those thoughts kind of come in, and then the performance issue kind of come in. And so it's like it's a loaded answer because it's so many different things I can tell you to do to relax, but would it really help you to relax? If I tell you to have some wine, that's like masking it. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily fixing if there is an issue, if that makes sense. Yeah.
How do you know when it's just time to get a new partner?
I think everyone would know if it's time to get a new partner. I think sometimes we try to hold on to things,
Mhm.
and yeah, I think I think if, let's say, you have a lot of excuse me, red flags, or
Mhm.
they're just checking off every single red flag,
Right.
right? Or if you just don't feel connected in the way that you
Mhm.
used to feel connected. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. You're like, check, please.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly that.
Okay.
Is
Now, I'm sorry. Go
Good.
ahead, Ty.
No, no, go ahead.
How does the communication differ when it comes to talking about intimacy when you're single and trying to date
Mhm.
versus you're in a committed relationship or you're married?
That's a great question. I don't, it varies in different ways because it looks different, right? Like you
Mhm.
wouldn't do the same thing as a single person with a married person or whatever. But I think boundaries is like really, really important to have
Mhm.
like throughout it all. So if you're single and you're dating around, having firm boundaries on what feels good and what doesn't feel good, right? I would say boundaries all around, because I feel like in
Right.
every stage that you are, you need to have those boundaries. Like you can be in a committed relationship for so long and then not get anything from it, right?
Mhm.
So checking in if you're married or if you're in a relationship about what feels good, what my needs are, what are my desires, because as we get older, things change, right?
Yeah.
Our bodies change, our physical, everything changes, right? So how do we continue to have those conversations, those uncomfortable conversations? And as someone that is single, I would say really know who you are, try
Mhm.
to figure out those things, right? Are your values aligned, beliefs aligned? Um, all of those things kind of, I think I went off your question, but
No,
it's
you're good.
all I feel connected in a way. So it looks different, but it's all the same. Boundaries will look a little different, values, beliefs, all of those things.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, that was good. I think I lost my question, but I have a new one. Um, how? Okay, when we're talking about how to communicate, right? What you want in bed. I wonder if there's a difference, if there's like a different language, a different way that a woman would communicate it versus a man, right? And I don't want to say one is more sensitive than the other because I think it's just a sensitive thing
Mm-hmm.
in
Absolutely.
general. So
Mhm.
for women who kind of want a little bit more or want to, spice things up with their partner, how do they bring that up to say, I like this without hurting their feelings? And then
Yeah.
men, how do they do it? So I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's such a vulnerable thing to even bring up
Yeah.
in general. So I would highly just encourage anyone, if you're in this partnership with someone, like we have to have uncomfortable conversations, right? And sometimes uncomfortable conversations have to happen for growth.
Mm-hmm.
So it can just be like, I feel like language is so important. You don't want to go into bed. Like, imagine a man says to you, you know what, you not giving me enough head. Like this, it's terrible to hear that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, damn, relax. But
First of all, I had a long day.
wait a minute, right? But I think it's just where you have to try to tap into what the communication your partner's giving you, right? Like if they're more softer toned or if they're more I would say more softer tone and the way they communicate, I think trying to match that as best as possible and just saying that I statements is very important. I notice this, or I think we should try to explore this, right? So not necessarily like I'm pointing the finger at you, but how can we do this in a collaborative way that feels good? Now, if some things are in our control and out of our control, you can say it as nice as possible and someone still might take it away. But I feel like if that is your person, you should be able to have these uncomfortable conversations and knowing how to navigate through it the best way as possible. Did that answer the question?
Ty, you need to follow up with that other question about size mattering.
Oh, does size matter? Wait, what? Okay, so let's say, okay, does size matter? So that's a good point. So with that, right? So what if it's not about technique? What if it is
about
size? I've had issues with size before, and I was way younger, so I didn't know how to like express that.
Yeah.
And it shocked me, like it was just very small and I didn't know how to say that. So what if what if you really love this person, right? I'm just giving a general saying about me. Chill.
Disclaimer.
But like, what if you're with someone and all right, so there's this, I'll go there. There is this episode on Sex and the City. Everyone who knows me knows I love Sex and the City, where Samantha, the character, one of the characters, she is the one that is like very sexually fluid, and just loves sex, and she's not a relationship type of person, but she met this man who fulfilled all of her emotional needs and she really loved him. So she wanted to give it a good college try, but he was really small and she couldn't, and she tried as hard as she could, but they even went to therapy. There was like in the episode, they went to therapy. She talked about it. There's nothing she can do about that.
No.
So is it now? I hear it's not the size, it's the motion in the ocean thing. Is that true? So how do you deal with that? If you
Yeah, I've come across that, and kind of going back into the values and beliefs, right? Like if this person is like checking all of your like green flags, right? Like how do we navigate through that? There's so many different ways, there's so many different toys. There's, you can name it. There's a thing called, I don't remember the name of it, but it's like a ring that goes on the penis and kind of helps it a little bit to
Oh,
going up
I
a
don't
little
know
bit.
about
Right.
that.
So,
No, I know what you're talking about though.
and I feel like intimacy isn't just only sex. So how do we navigate the elephant?
Mm.
Well, the elephant in the room, right?
The
If it's
elephant in
not
the
an
room.
Elephant's
elephant,
a little
right?
bigger.
The mouse in the room.
How do we navigate that? I think it's just trying to find workarounds, right?
Yeah.
Some people can continue it and some people just can't. But
Yeah.
I would say try your best that you could explore different forms of it, of sex, right? Like through
Mhm.
toys or goodness, if it's more oral, if it's more kissing, right? Like how do you get pleasure without it only being penetrative sex, right? There's so many different ways of doing that. So it just depends on the person.
Mm.
I don't know.
Okay.
Some people is up for the challenge or not. I don't know.
I, I think for those who are sapiosexuals, I
Mm-hmm.
think that dealing with those type of individuals who might be lacking in that compartment, it's a little bit more easier to
Mm-hmm.
find satisfaction because at the end of the day, they're mentally stimulating you. So
Exactly.
the physical ends up being a bonus, right? Especially
Mm-hmm.
if you end up having a connection with them where you love them.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that they do is just going to
Yeah.
like magnify the entire overall package. And I'm speaking from experience,
Right.
because I do feel like size plays a major role because there
Mm-hmm.
is such a thing as being too big too. Too big
Absolutely.
is not comfortable.
Right.
Just like too small might not be comfortable too. But if you have that connection with that person and you're locked in, then
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be more willing to engage in that conversation of, hey,
Exactly.
I don't like when you do this, or hey, you're a little too rough, versus check, please, I'm out of here. You know.
Right.
So for the guys that's watching, size matters, but guess what? If you're not packing, don't worry, because the guys that are packing also have issues. I said it because it's true.
At her.
Oh, what? Right there.
At her. So funny. All right. Yeah, I think the toys thing, I mean, listen, I think that it's true. Like, you really have to evaluate just like if you want to keep
Mm-hmm.
being there, with that is there more that you can lean on, right? And I
Yeah.
think to your point, there's other ways that you could get
There's other
stimulation.
ways. Yeah.
I I would feel very sorry.
I know.
No, honestly, because it would. I mean, you would have to really love this person, like
You would
really
have
love
to.
this
I
person,
agree.
right?
Yeah.
Because it's a big loss, pun intended, right? So, or a small loss.
At Ty the matchmaker.
It's it is
Yeah.
because I think about it and I'm just like, wow, that like it would have to be someone like you really want to go the
Mhm.
distance with and really want to try. And
Yeah.
and two and same thing, too big. Same
Hmm.
Sex in the City
Same thing.
episode. She had the opposite, right? So
Yeah.
she had one that was too small and one that was too big, and she thought too big was like fun, and she was like, whoa, I can't take it, so
It's
that's
a lot.
also
Mhm.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
totally.
I would say too, I've been noticing that a lot of couples also, like if there's things that are not necessarily like matching their needs and wants, a lot of people do open up their relationships in that way. So that is a thing. Yes, Brie, you're like,
Question, because I was talking about this on TikTok before I came over here.
yeah.
What is the stigma behind threesomes where When a woman tells her man she wants to have a threesome, he automatically defaults to two women. Why
Mhm.
is it an issue if she wants two men? Why are guys like, oh no, 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 I'm not gonna sword fight? Why is that? What's behind that?
I think it's a territorial thing, right? Automatically, when someone says opening up a man's mind, it's like, ooh, another woman, right? So I think is that thing of like, I don't want to share this, my person with this other man, right?
Yeah.
But those are very difficult conversations to navigate, really, and it can get really messy. But I feel like people have to be on the same page to know if we're going to open our relationship, how we're going to open our relationship, what does that look like? It may not be two women,
Mm-hmm.
or you can do your own thing. I can do my own thing. We can do it together where we swing it in both men and women. However, so it just looks, I think it's a territorial thing or like a shock thing. And it's like, wait, hold
Yeah.
on. You want to do it with just another man? What's wrong
Yeah.
with me? And that goes into the self-esteem thing, right?
Right.
What's wrong with me? Why you don't want to do this with me? You want to do this with another woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So all of those things, yeah.
Mm. I think too, when you think about it, because a lot of the times when people get into relationships, they forget that they had a life before this relationship. They
Mm-hmm.
may have been going to swingers clubs and having wild monkey sex left and right,
Yeah.
one night stands, and then they get into the relationship and they become very vanilla. But yet, when they talk to their partner and they explain to their partner, oh, this is how I used to be, the partner can look at them like, okay, well, why are you not like that with me?
Right.
So how does one who is super experienced communicate to someone who might not have had that many adventures and, they want to introduce them to it, such as swinging?
Yeah, that is a challenging one, especially like if one person was super adventurous and did different things and the other one was not. I would say slowly but surely trying to introduce that and even seeing if that person is open to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not, that's when the challenges kind of come into play. Um, some people might be adventurous and the other one is not, and they're not necessarily interested in doing all of that.
Right.
So I think it's that, again, we're talking about communication in the bedroom, right? Communicating what you're looking for, how you're looking for it, when you're looking for it,
Mm-hmm.
and just saying like, hey, we have been in a vanilla non monogamous relationship and I really want to explore that, and how does that look, right,
Right.
within your comfort zone and within my comfort zone. So baby steps,
Yeah.
right? Is it, I don't know, some people's first thing is like, let's try anal. That's like the first thing that we're gonna try. That's that's
Child,
different.
I'll try.
Right? Let's try to do that, right? Let's try to explore and just have fun and see what that looks like,
Yeah. Oof.
so yeah.
So with that, right, with the conversation about opening up and poly, I wonder in 2026, how realistic now is
Mhm.
it for people to have just one partner? I mean, are we like is it, because I feel like I hear so much about poly and I'm just like, is that just like the new thing? Are we, I don't know. I just, can people have one partner? Like, is that still a realistic thing that can happen?
It
Like, I'm
absolutely,
nervous for the
honestly,
world.
for the future.
Yeah.
Yes, people are still strictly monogamous,
Okay.
and they only want to do that. But I feel like now in 2026, people are so like open to exploring and trying different things, right?
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I see it as a mix
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah.
what people want to do. I feel like we're in a new time too, where we're just like, we're understanding our bodies more and compared to past generations, and what can we do with this? How can we have fun and explore and do all the things? So it's a mix.
I mean, he
Okay.
said, how do you break this thing in?
how
Listen.
How successful is art? I mean, I guess it just depends. It could just be like depends on the relationship, but I'm wondering like the success rate of poly relationships
Yeah,
or
there's so many. Is poly, there's ethical non-monogamy, there you name it. It can be very successful if all people are on board, if there's I hate to say rules, not rules, but like if you guys are on the same wavelength as far as like what are you looking for? Are you guys doing this together or separate? Because some couples they do it separately and then
Mm-hmm.
they're doing their thing. I think if you guys are on the same length, the communication's there, all those things, it can be very successful. And I do have a few ethical non-monogamy couples right now, and the challenges are the communication and all of the things that come with it, right? Like if there's no communication, there can be jealousy, there can
Mm-hmm.
be all the things you can think of going wrong,
can,
right?
can you explain what ethical non-monogamy is? I know what those words means as an individual word, but like what's that?
So this is a newer term that I discovered myself,
Okay.
right? And I automatically, and that's what I love about the beauty of just like continuously like learning,
Learning. Yeah.
So when I looked up ethical non-monogamy, I was like, what is this, right? Because I thought all of it was the same thing. I still fully don't understand it, but it's like where you have more than one romantic or sexual partner, but everyone involved has to like agree to it. That is the simplest way. But then also, people who are poly also have those same understandings. So
Right.
I'm still trying to work out the kinks of that because it to me it intersects. But if someone knows and can tell me
Right.
something, I would love to know that
I just
too.
think people are just making up words. Like I honestly, I feel like sometimes we are over researching and thinking things
We
because
have a lot
that
more information now. Yeah,
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 yeah, it's just like it's just same thing, new words,
yeah,
that's how it sounds to me,
yeah.
but
Because it's
yeah.
it's literally like an umbrella term for
Okay.
like poly,
Poly.
but
Right.
you
Okay.
know, I
All
guess it
right.
depends on how you value it too, right? If you guys aren't on board, and I think that's with both, right? You guys are not
Mhm.
going to be on the same wavelength, and that's going to cause all these issues. But I think it has to be something where you guys are 100% agreeant on like every single thing that you do. So I don't know if
Okay.
that's a major difference or.
So I looked up what the difference is between poly and ethical non-monogamy, and ethical non-monogamy is the umbrella, and poly
Mhm.
is one type of ethical non-monogamy.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Chris says, what exactly is poly though? Does it all just boil down to communication? Because Negroes been poly for a minute, got all different types of kinds of partners.
Maybe that's the ethical part. The ethical part is I'm telling you and I'm being honest about it, as opposed to those
Yeah,
Negroes who
Right.
just be doing it
they
unethically.
doing it without being told anything, right? So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
have
So
multiple. At
it's
that
called
point, that's
cheating,
considered cheating. There you go.
right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
considered cheating.
And
So
you see a lot of that in the poly world because you have couples who are poly, but yet only one person is aware that the couple is poly. So it's like, no, you're cheating. And
Yeah.
that I think there's a couple of things that give the poly world a bad taste. One is that people think it's over sexualized, and
right.
that's because those who are not aware of what a true poly dynamic is
Yes.
like
Mm-hmm.
just think, oh, that means I can sleep with anybody and everybody, and I'm considered poly. And then two, you have people who come into poly and they just want to cheat. So one person is poly, the other one is more than likely monogamous. And
Mm-hmm.
so they go out there and they say, "Oh, I'm poly, and I want to introduce you to my wife or whoever." And when the wife or whoever finds out, it's a surprise to them
It's a
because
surprise. Yeah.
They were not in an open relationship. So
Yeah.
I think the people who are not fully educated are just diving in there because I don't want strings attached. I want to be able to
Mm-hmm.
sleep with whoever and not have to answer to anybody, and they automatically think poly is the way. They don't even understand that, because I at one point was looking to join into the poly community. There's several different dynamics within poly.
Absolutely.
It's
Mm-hmm.
not just, oh, that's it. It's just everybody. No, you
Yeah.
have people who are strictly in a relationship to discuss bills. I think they call those tabletop relationships or something like that. And then you have the one where you can have two boyfriends or you can have two
Mm-hmm.
girlfriends and they know about each other. And it's just, I think it's called the V dynamic. There's so many different things,
Oh
but people need to
wow,
do their
They
research.
it's a
really do.
whole world.
It's a lot of stigma that goes around the polyamorous community, and it's
Hmm.
far from true. There's so many books and resources and all of that stuff too that's out there,
Yeah.
But I think that's where the ethical piece comes into play, because it's like I'm letting you know who and every single person that is within our new dynamic, even if it's outside of you, so
Hmm.
it's not considered cheating.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think poly overall is designed where if you are in a relationship with someone, poly means one love. Like you just want your person to receive love and be happy, whether it's giving it from you or they're getting it from somebody else. None of that matters. You just want them happy. Period. That's
Mhm.
what it's about.
Yeah,
Hmm,
agreed.
interesting.
Yeah, don't go in there.
Interesting.
Don't go in there talking about I'm new to the party where they will turn you into a unicorn fast.
Oh boy,
What?
is that is that what happened?
Girl, I was like, I don't, that's too much. It's too much going
It
on.
sounds like a lot of work.
It is. It
You know
is
what
a
I mean?
lot.
Like I'd rather have all of this like conversation with one person,
One
not
person.
six.
That's it.
But you're having it with multiple and
Yeah.
trying to navigate that and communicating, right? Like, what
Yeah.
does that look like? I have this person who I'm married to, but then I have a boyfriend, and then going on. Those are all
Sound too
things.
bad.
You say you will do that.
I was like, that don't sound too bad now.
Hey,
So your
But,
husband has a girlfriend too. Then
Wait now.
now you're doing too much.
Do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I could not do
it's
it.
that communication just all around
Yeah.
that's important. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true.
It's just a lot.
It is. It sounds exhausting. Just talking about it exhausts me. I can't even imagine like being in it. But
kinda like
shout
being
out to our
single.
poly people.
You like being single?
You like being single, Bree?
I enjoy it. It's child, it's a lot.
So I have another question. When, in your opinion, do you think it's the best time to, when you're in a relationship, have the conversation about frequency? Like, I feel like, like there's that, you hear it in marriage, like, oh, we used to do it 3 and now we got married, or like we used to do it when we were like dating more often, and now it's less. So like, when is,
Could you imagine getting a Google pop up with a calendar reminder? You gotta have sex at 10 o'clock.
I mean, for some people that might be, you know what I mean? That could be part of the communication, but I'm gonna let the expert.
It's important to have those conversations. I feel like when we don't have those conversations, that's when resentment can kind of build up, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be so rigid as like 10 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Right.
But there's other factors that I think both partners have to be aware of, right? Is it schedule changes, work, children? Things don't work the same way they worked 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So having those conversations and that openness to be like, you know what, we still love each other. However, we want to be open and let's try to see if we can have sex more, even if that is scheduling it, right? Even if that's making sure we prioritize us time at least 7 days out the week, 3 days out the week, right? Put the kids to bed. Let's try to figure this out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't always have to be sex. It can just be exploring one another, figuring out what your new needs and wants are as you continue to be in long-term relationships or whatever. So it can look different ways. But yes, I do think that is an important conversation to have.
Mhm.
How soon though? Like, it's that, like, when you just started dating, and when you just start dating someone,
Mhm.
like, I guess at what point does that come up, and do you say, like, well, I actually like it 3 times a week,
Mhm.
or
I
I
think
guess whenever it
immediately.
comes up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like if you notice a shift in your relationship
Yeah.
and you're just wondering like what's going on, I actually would like to have more intimate time with you. Can we kind of work around that? What does that look like? Because I do feel like when you wait too long, sometimes that's when you get a little bit too nervous and don't know how to say it and when to say
Mhm.
it. And then that resentment starts to build up and you're pissed off at the person, don't fully know why, but you know why. So it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
being transparent. I notice, or sometimes it could be the opposite of sometimes we having too much sex.
Mhm.
Gotta have that conversation too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would want to know, as I'm getting to know someone before we're even intimate,
Mhm.
their expectations, because if they're a
Absolutely.
nympho, no,
Yeah.
this is not the person for me. And it's like that. I
Mhm.
think that's something that you need to communicate up front to go ahead
Absolutely.
and decide if you're going to continue to get to know this person,
Mhm.
and hopefully you can fulfill their needs, or hey, this isn't going to work out, I'm going to exit stage left, but I wish you well.
Yeah, I think that's so important, especially when you're dating and it's so new, right? Like, what is it that you're looking for? What is it that you're needing? Because if I'm not feeling that or you're not feeling that for me, let's kind of call it quits before we go a year in or a few
Right.
months, whatever.
Right.
So having that upfront conversations important.
Do you think it's important to also ask them, while you're going through the beginning of the dating phase, how many people they're intimate with currently?
Mm, I think that is important. Hold on, my computer's dying.
Uh-oh,
Um,
your computer said they doing too much over there.
I think that's important, right? Because, well, it depends, right? If you guys are starting to date and it's starting to get serious, right? Or I feel like just even having that conversation up front, like, hey, I am talking to other people, but I'm realizing that, we are starting to get a little serious, right?
Mhm.
So I just kind of want to know, are you talking to other people? Are you still intimate with other people? Because that can kind of give you your answer as far as like what you're looking for and if
Mhm.
you even continue that. I
Right.
feel like that's a transparent conversation to have. Would everyone be transparent about
No. You the only one, girl.
that?
That's
I
that
know.
unethical poly.
Right.
Right.
Unethical poly. So I think that's a good point. I'd love to talk about quickly soul ties. So
Mm.
speaking of having multiple partners, right? Like, that's something
Mhm.
that I often, like, for me personally, I try not to have multiple partners because I believe in it, and I wanted to, like, hear, like, is it real, or is it just like me being spiritual?
I think it depends on how you view sex and like your spirituality and
Okay.
how you view it, right? You're sharing the most intimate, valuable parts of yourself, right?
Mhm.
And that might be difficult to do with different people.
Yeah.
So I do believe that's where like the soul ties kind of come in. But there's some people who don't,
Believe
that
in
that
that.
doesn't, yeah.
Okay.
They can see it as like another body that they're doing it with or whatever. So I think it's really up to how you value and how you view sex and all of that. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. It does. It
Mm.
does.
Yeah.
What's up, Bree?
I ain't listen, I'm so tired. I'm so
I
tired
mean,
to
I
have y'all here
personally believe
driving
in it.
around Atlanta looking for him. Like,
Yeah.
he's not answering my calls.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It can be
Well,
difficult to navigate though, for sure, especially if you guys are like not on the same page and you're sharing those parts of yourself. So, yeah.
Hmm.
yeah, just be careful, y'all. I don't know. I just feel like
Just don't do it. Keep it in your
Don't do it at
pants.
all.
Right. Leave it alone.
Speaking of don't do it, I saw this article online that spoke about Gen Z and how they're having less sex than any generation. So I'll just read it really quickly. It
Mhm.
says Generation Z is having less sex than past generations due
Mhm.
to key factors like less in-person socializing, higher rates of living with parents, and prioritizing sleep or career goals over dating.
Mhm.
Data shows the share of young adults without a sexual partner has doubled over the last decade.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Not surprising at all.
Yeah.
No. I would speak for myself personally. I am a millennial, but I know I have one child and I am done. So imagine how I'm feeling
Hmm.
Hmm.
compared to a younger generation when things are 10 times harder for our generation and the continuous generations. We got to work harder. We have to, my God, we work. We have to do all kinds of things that are different from past generations. So we're not trying to have babies. We're not trying to there's no time for any of that because the day-to-day shit can be really heavy.
Hmm.
So I am not surprised by that at all. The sex part was interesting. I didn't know they were having sex less. But they're all dating, sex, all of that. If they're not doing all of that, none of that's happening. But yeah, and even though I also know that they have less children now. There's
Hmm.
not as many children anymore. They're being safe, and the world and the climate that everything is in makes it hard.
That's kind of scary. Like, I just think about I'm also a millennial. Like, just reading it, I'm just kind of like, wow, the world, like, it has changed. Like, it says about 1 in 4 young adults report having no sex in the past last year. I remember my 20s. We was outside. Okay, now granted, there wasn't that social media wasn't
Yeah.
as prominent. We didn't have phones, so there's a lot. But I'm just like, and I
Mhm.
know COVID does play a big role in that, because
Mhm.
the article did say like less in-person socializing. So I think that that's
Yes.
probably the big factor. But I just feel really
Mhm.
sorry for them because I enjoyed going to college and going to a bar and
Mhm.
then like picking up
Doing
somebody or
all
just
the things.
making
Yeah.
out at the bar. Like they're not doing any of that, and they're so
Yeah.
incels and just isolated. And
Mhm.
um, I don't know. I feel sorry for that. I think it's good
Yeah.
that they're just not like how I am with soul ties, that they're not just like giving it out like
Mhm.
that, but they're not doing anything, like nothing. These kids
Yeah.
are just home.
Yeah.
This is the age of technology too, right? So they're able to kind of hide behind the screen and not do
Yeah.
that socialization because that kind of got pressed thin as this new generation was kicking in. So it's not surprising, even like I have some Gen Z clients, and dating doesn't look the same. Everything is on an app, everything is that. I'm like, go outside, try to
Yeah.
connect with people. And I don't really feel like they necessarily know how to do that.
Yeah,
So it is sad. But I think it takes people like us and kind of trying to encourage that, like, go outside, touch a tree, touch some plants,
yeah,
do something, right? And not just be everything technology. When you can go on a dating website and you can see a picture and talk to someone, and it's not the
Hmm.
same as like real life connections. So yeah.
oh, sad, 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 sad. Well, I know we're up on time, but
Yay.
this was such a great conversation. Really enjoyed having you, and I guess the
Yes.
moral of the story is communicate, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Communicate. Communication is key. Communicate before, communicate during, and communicate
Mhm.
after.
And even if
Um,
it's uncomfortable, you have to have these conversations in order to grow and heal and move forward.
Yeah.
100%. A hundred
Mm.
percent.
Well, Ebony, we're gonna let you
Take it
close
away.
out the show. Please let everybody know how can they follow you. What do you have going on?
Yeah.
And if they want to reach out to you and have you as their therapist, how can they do so?
Yeah. So you guys can contact me on the at therapy with Ebony. That is one of my Instagram handles. I do have another handle called the Garden of Intimacy where I talk about like just sex and intimacy and desires and all of that stuff. That's the best way to reach me. I believe my email is in the link, and then we can kind of talk and go from there.
All right, awesome. And then Ty, what about you?
Well, y'all know me at Ty the Matchmaker on all social media. Matchmaker here. If you're in the New York, New Jersey area, look me up. And if you're single and you're curious about what matchmaking is, would love to talk to you. So,
All right, and then it is I, Simply Bree. Thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. And once again, Ebony, thank you for being on. We really enjoyed you. We'll definitely need to have you back.
Yeah.
You guys can reach out to me across social media at I am Simply Bree, and it's IAMSIMPLEEBREE. You can catch me on the Let's Be Honest show with Jackson and Ace, and that's on every other Wednesday from 7:30 on up. Conversations just like this show just be flowing. We never know when we're going to end, okay? So definitely tune in. And then also follow and subscribe to the He Said What Network. He Said What Network.com. We have the house of the shows. You do not want to miss out on any of these. If you appreciated this conversation, please make sure you like this video and subscribe once again to us on YouTube. Until next time, we will see you guys later. Bye.
bye, y'all.